Hey folks, welcome back to Todd Bosley's world famous YouTube channel. Today we're going to continue with the buyout that we had about 2 weeks ago. There's some great stuff in this load. I'll start with this 1878 legal tender. This is a George Washington note. Look how they used to make money in the old days. This is graded as 63 from PMG. The back of it is really nice. Now, this is graded exceptional paper quality, which is, you can see it up here in this corner right here. And it's a grade of 63, 70 being the highest grade. I think this is a very nice example of a $1 bill, what it used to look like compared to what we have now. Then we'll move to a $5 bill. This is from 1907. This is what they call the wood chopper note. So this is a 64 wood chopper. Sorry, I'm getting a little bit of reflection here on these notes. Look at the back of that. Now this one is not exceptional paper quality, as you can see. So it's a little bit lower, even though it's a 64. The last one I showed you was a 63. You can see a little bit off centering here, which cost it some of its grade. Still a nice example of a $5 note from 1907. Let's move to a 1914 $5 note. Now this was printed in Chicago. It's graded as 62, uncirculated. Abraham Lincoln. I'll hold it back there so you can see the centering of it. I like the back of this note a lot. This is one of my favorites. If you've never seen this before, I'll kind of give you a close-up view. It's really nice. The collector that started this collection really put a lot of time and effort into it. And you have to think about a 62, even though it's not a 70, it's from 1914. So imagine how much care and effort you had to put into something like that. This is a 1917 $1 bill. Kind of sort of on the wood chopper theme again. Now we see up here in the corner it says EPQ. When we turn it over in the back it says exceptional paper quality. That's what that means. But just a beautiful back to it. Graded in a 63. Now, we'll move on to my favorite $1 bill. This is the 1899 silver certificate. This is graded in a 65. If I had to guess a value of this, I'd guess it to be somewhere between $1,000 and $1,200. This is called the Eagle $1. I'll show you the back. Again, this is exceptional paper quality. PMG grades them that way. I like the back of this one a lot. This is a silver certificate, so back in 1899, you could have traded this in for an ounce of silver. But what a great piece, again. Okay, now we'll move to, from the collection, Norwich, Connecticut. I've said in my other videos, if you haven't heard of that town, it's probably worth more. This is a $1 bill. This is back before the U.S. government really started printing their own money. Each city would kind of print their own. On the back, again, no printing, which I don't really like. I like the notes a lot better that have the printing on the back. It doesn't make them any less valuable. This one's actually fairly hard to find. It's an EPQ again. Now this one, if you look, it's marked as remainder right here. That means this is a note that was not ever in circulation, so this would have been left over. But a great example again. Okay, now we'll move on to one of the more famous notes in America. This is the $1 educational certificate. I really wasn't aware of these until probably about 3 years ago. 1896 silver certificate. It's graded in a 35. Doesn't seem like a very high grade, But when you look at the cost of these notes, you'll understand, you can see there in the corner that it's bent. You'll understand that educational certificates are worth quite a bit of money. Show you the front again. Educational certificates were brought in to introduce America to electric and different things that were going on at that time that you could be a part of. I don't know how well they really worked, but their collectability is very high. This is the $1 bill, which is the most common of the notes. The $5 bill, the $2 bill are harder to get and more expensive. But that still on a 35 is really nice. Okay, we're back to the Disney dollars again. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Disney dollars. This is a 1988. It's a greatest 67. It's a nice shape. Disney dollars seem to becoming more collectible than they used to be. PMG is grading them. In my personal collection, I own quite a few of these. It's a really nice piece. Let's go back to the educational notes. Here's another $1 example, 1896. This is in a 45. So the last one we saw was a 35. This one's a little bit nicer. And again, the back. Very nice. This is the EPQ again, exceptional paper quality, in a 45. Okay, we'll move back to a $10 Confederate note. This was in the collection. Again, not really excited about these notes. They're okay. I mean, they're part of our history. There's not a whole lot you can do about it. The back looks nice. This is the front. Not sure who that guy is. On these notes, they put a lot of people in there that you just don't know who they are. This is a Columbia, South Carolina note, $20 bill. Little girl saluting here. Give you a close-up of the center. There was definitely a lot of artwork put into these notes. A lot of time and effort. So this is a $20 bill. It's a 67 EPQ. This is a very, very great note. This is a hard one to find. This is not a remainder. So this was actually in circulation. That means in 1872, somebody just took this home and they didn't spend it. They put it and protected it in some type of binder, and it survived until it could get graded. Okay, here we are. This is a $50 Confederate States of America. It's a 63. Again, this was in circulation. The same thing happened. The back of it looks nice. I guess it just depends on what you like, if you like Confederate notes or not. But we have an example of it. Our next example is the Savannah, Georgia, which is a fairly popular town. This is 1859, Merchants Planners Bank of Georgia. Again, the artwork. They put Ben Franklin on this one. This is a 63 EPQ with nothing on the back. Okay, now we have Smithport, Pennsylvania, 1850s, McKean County Bank. This is a $5 bill. Exceptional paper quality again. No printing on the back. This is a remainder note. Very nice. The majority of these came from one collection. And the person who collected these, you could tell, had great taste. Here's a $20 bill. So if you think about the $1 bill, then the 2, the 3, the 5, the 10, and then we get to the $20. $20 bills are harder to find. Nice artwork on this one. The back of this is really nice too. Different color scheme. Again, it's exceptional paper quality, which is what you want to look for when you're collecting these kind of notes. So that's the example of the $20 bill. Norwich, Connecticut. Here's a $3 bill. $3 bills are harder to find. They weren't made for a real long time. Look at all that. For the 1860s, that was pretty good work. There was a lot of artwork. There's a lot of work put into this to be able to get it put on a plate and actually print it and make it look like this. Now we'll go to Louisiana, which is very common, but this is the 1840s. And it's graded in a 63. It's a remainder note. It's kind of unusual. You'll notice here there was some very risque type printing that went on with some of these notes. Things that would not be printed on notes today. There were lots of old ladies that went into banks. Like, maybe they weren't old. That's the story that I heard, though. In Christian communities, they would go in and say, we don't want this type of printing on our notes. And the bank managers got kind of confused about what to do. So a lot of these notes were held. The bank managers just took them back and said, we don't want this out in our community. That's why some of these are so rare to find. Just as the last one that I showed you. Now here's a beauty. This is a 64 $1 educational note. This is pricey. This is actually a great investment. This is a 64 PMG, 1896. So this was a circulated note, graded in a 64. Very hard to find. Look at the corners of this here. George and Martha Washington. Again, the artwork on the back. Just an incredible piece. So this was graded by PMG. So here we have a 65, but it's PCGS. So I'm going to show you the difference between these two. Here's the top of this one. Here's the top of this one. They're very similar, right? Borders look the same. This is the PCGS. This is the PMG. This one got a 65. This one got a 64. Let's look at the back. This is the PCGS again. I'm not a fan of PCGS. Never have been and probably never will be. They are actually part of a different company now. This arm of the company was sold off. And they erased their grading records. So it's hard to know how many of these were graded. Now this is a really great piece. Don't get me wrong. But eventually, someday, I'll probably have PMG regrade this. And we'll see what it gets. We'll see if it actually gets a 65. PMG 64, we know that's, at least I know that, it's for real. They're very consistent on their grading. I'm a fan of PMG, not a fan of PCGS, because if you ask me, this 65 is probably not as nice as this 64. And you have to take that into consideration when you're investing your hard-earned money into these type of bills. Just my opinion, but that's how I feel about it. Okay, let's move on now to another 1917. This is a 53 EPQ. I like this a lot. You can see the artwork there. On the back, similar to the other ones that we've seen. This is a great investment. It's a 53. Not the highest grade, but a great grade. 1917. I like it a lot. Now this, whether you believe this or not, you can check me on this. This is the actual first dollar bill that America ever made. And who is this guy here? On the first dollar bill, you thought it would be George Washington, right? But it's not. It's this guy. And I don't even know who he is. But he's on the actual first dollar bill that was ever made. This is a 63 from 1862. Graded 63. Now you notice this one is not exceptional paper quality. But from 1863, not a whole lot of them that were circulated had that. This is the actual first $1 bill of the United States of America. I did not know that. This was an education for me. And it probably is for most of you. This is the first dollar bill that was ever made. All right, now we're going to move on to Morristown, New Jersey. This is a $10 bill. It's from the 1858 to 1860s. They don't even really know when it was made. They can only put a time frame. Again, another risque photo on the front of the bill, nothing on the back. But there it is. That's in 1858 through 1860s. That's what you would get in Morristown, New Jersey, if you wanted a $10 bill. $10 bill in 1858, though, had to be very expensive. Columbia, South Carolina, that's more of a well-known area. But still, very good artwork. This is a 67. It's a remainder note, but what a great piece. The back of it, the state of South Carolina. It's a really, really great piece. Now we'll move to the District of Columbia. This is an 1852 Merchants Bank. This is graded 66. 66 grade, Merchants Bank, District of Columbia in Washington. That's D.C. as we know it, from 1852. Another great example. Exceptional paper quality. Nothing printed on the back. This is definitely a collector piece here, as well as the rest of the ones that you've seen. Now, in this collection also was some of the newer bills. I'll just give you a little rundown of these. This is 1828, a 64. This is 1963. It's a 66. I mean, it's okay. Not something I necessarily would put very much money into. I know it's probably worth $100 or so. Again, PCGS, the $1 bill. 57 silver certificate. 57 silver certificate. All in high grades. 66, 65. This is 1935F. A little more rare. Our dollar bills, and then just think about this. Our dollar bills basically from 1928 till now on the back still kind of look the same. We should be a little more creative than that. Here's some more for you. 1928 silver certificate. 1963 $2 bill. This is a nice one. It's graded 67. Definitely harder to find. You can see how nice the back of that looks. And then the last, a 1963 67 $2 bill. Again with a nice back on it. So thanks for watching my videos. I'm Todd Bosley. Show you my card again. Ohio Trading Coin and Jewelry. I buy and sell collections daily. If you're looking for someone to buy your collection, if you've worked hard to build a collection and you want to sell it for some money, please give me a call. Don't do what most people do and just send it to an auction. Most auction companies will get you for between 30 to 50%. Even though $100 might sound like a lot of money, by the time you're done, you're going to get $60, $50, depending on how it goes. I try to match you with buyers. I don't have to make all of my money in one day. I like to buy expensive collections and work through them with you. I like to get down line by line and go through what each thing is worth and pay you what you deserve. I hope you'll consider what I have to say, and I hope you'll give me a call if you have something valuable that you want to sell. My number, my personal cell phone, is 330-323-9775. Again, I'm Todd Bosley, Ohio Trading Coin and Jewelry. I'd be happy to give you an estimate on what your collection is worth. Thanks for watching, and be sure to check out all my other videos and subscribe to our channel. We buy and sell daily, so we have all kinds of new things coming in. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.